when Bitcoin starts going up, you can potentially anticipate the treasury companies from increasing more, and then vice versa. If Bitcoin goes down, the treasury companies are typically going to go down a little bit more. It's amplified. But this is all hypothetical, and every cycle has surprised me in some way or another. And so, of course, none of this is investment advice. It's just pontification.
Yeah, it's always important to say. It's always important to say with Bitcoin, but I think with securities, it's even more important to say those things. But it is interesting because you can't value a treasury company the same way you value Bitcoin, because you already said like we have like this Bitcoin as savings and treasury companies are investments. It's not the same thing, and so it's a whole new avenue of how the heck do you see or value what a stock might be worth one day, or like what the value behind the stock is, and what a oh gosh, like that's a whole nother topic, but like what a good entry price is, and all of those like questions, and then MNAV and all of those things.
Yeah, I believe Bitcoin is going to help bring a lot more truth to the stock markets internationally. Because right now, I mean, I can mostly speak to the US, but there's some stocks out there that are valued just absolutely crazy high. You know what I mean? And some major companies that don't have any Bitcoin. And I think once the market realizes that, really not once it realizes, once it continues to realize, and this knowledge continues to expand, that Bitcoin is really the strongest form of money, and the companies that don't have any Bitcoin actually don't have good money. Well, I think when that knowledge gets out there and continues to permeate a little bit more, we'll start to see a repricing of really everything. I mean, that's what we're finding in the Bitcoin world. Housing prices crash measured in Bitcoin, healthcare crashes measured in Bitcoin, education's getting cheaper measured in Bitcoin. And I think we'll see company valuations getting cheaper measured in Bitcoin over time, until they start accumulating Bitcoin. And then in that case, then you're looking at them, and can they earn more Bitcoin than you can just by saving.
Is that the new metric that you're looking at if you value a stock in general, of like how much more Bitcoin can they accumulate versus myself? And is that the investment case basically for any stock in the future, because Bitcoin is kind of the new hurdle rate?
I definitely believe that Bitcoin is the new hurdle rate. I mean, I've been pretty vocal about that for my time in Bitcoin, and I think any investment that's going to be interesting for me personally has to prove to me that they can accumulate and acquire Bitcoin at a rate faster than Bitcoin's valuation just increasing, and for the trade-off of the risk. If you're investing in something, of course you're giving up your Bitcoin to make an investment in hopes that they earn you more Bitcoin. But yeah, no, I think if one of my favorite sites, and I'm not sure if it's even up anymore, but it's called Priced in Bitcoin 21. And it was measuring everything with Bitcoin as the denominator. So it had, stocks, it had gold, it had everything. And you can just see that over the long term, Bitcoin is the superior form of savings. Almost everything is down measured against Bitcoin in the long run. Now, in the short term, gold might look like it's significantly up in Bitcoin. I'm not personally a trader. I'm just a long-term hodler investor. And so I like to look at the 3, 5, 7-year trends and see that. And it makes it pretty clear to me that Bitcoin is the correct move for me. Now, for other people, the amplified Bitcoin, the mining companies, the treasury companies, et cetera, might be interesting over the longer term.
I just looked it up. I didn't pull that website up for a very long time, and it looks very different now. But it is. It's still there. It's crazy.
I love
and you
it.
can see the S&P 500 going down in Bitcoin. It's like, that's a crazy chart. It's like almost at like minus 98.8%.
Yeah, that looks dead, right? I don't know. Get the defibrillator. We'll see. We'll see if we can put some life back into it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like everything else going down.
Yeah. So this is how I personally look at a lot of things. Short term, you're going to see a lot more volatility, but yeah, long term, it's pretty much the same story. Yeah, even the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ's hitting all-time highs right now. And if you go back to that chart, it's like a little tiny blip in the sea of just negative returns. There's the S&P 500. Yeah, so we're hitting an all-time high, right?
Yeah, it's like the S&P 500 down 98.14. Now, Max is like, okay, you can make the argument that it's like unfair, but even like 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, you can even do 5 years, since 2021. Down.
Crazy. It's like it's massive, and this in a circumstance where the price and the sentiment is so down. Like we're not at the all-time high peaky top where we're like, haha, see, we're winning. No, like we actually I think the last 1 year is probably already even down.
Yes, I think Bitcoin ended 2025 down something like 8%. But yeah, that doesn't faze me at all. I mean, I think, again, these are the numbers, and I give the same advice to people today as I gave them, 5 to 7 years ago, which is if you're buying Bitcoin, think about holding it for 5+ years. Think about holding it for at least one halving cycle, which is 4 years in Bitcoin.
I even say 2 cycles. I like because like 4 years like at the absolute like minimum. Yeah. But I like to expand it to 2 years, because there is where you really see a profound difference. And I myself haven't gotten to 8 years myself, but I 2-3 years more. But like 8 years, like you will substantially have changed your life if you've changed with Bitcoin in that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, for me, it was, I think after 5+ years is when you really start to see it change you.
I want to bring that up once more, because we talk about gold, and this is really nice because now the last year, like 2 years even sometimes, they're now having their victory lap. Yeah. and it's fun because you've seen over the last 10 years, as you've seen, Bitcoin just completely outperformed everything. Oh wait, the thing changed now without me doing anything. Is that, can we change it back? Shit. Yeah, here. And so you see here, we've completely outperformed gold for so long. And now there's like a small blip in there. There's a small thing where gold has like a 1 year victory lap. But over 10 years, it's down 97%. And gold people are like, oh, fool's gold. Because like we are now 133% up like the last 1 year. Yeah. And it's just like a small blip in the whole chart.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin has really taught me the value of patience, and you just constantly look bad until you don't in Bitcoin. It's like, waking up every day and you're like, oh man, I wish the price was different. And then you get a very short period of time when the price really rips, and it can change your life.
I like that. I had a question also planned, but I think we already kind of answered that. Maybe you have some additional insights to that. I was trying to get to like, what is the end game of treasury companies? And I think the end game is just like that every company that wants to have value in the future has to have Bitcoin also on their balance sheet, and that the pure treasury companies right now are kind of like the bridge or the hybrid. Not the hybrid, the bridge towards this kind of Bitcoin future, and taking advantage of that the market is inefficient and not pricing Bitcoin in a accurate fashion. Is that also like how you look at the treasury companies now and the future and the end game, if you so will, of treasury companies?
Every person, family, government, company needs good money. And so Bitcoin treasury companies have discovered, accumulating good money is extremely profitable. If you just think of Bitcoin as money, what the treasury companies today have discovered is that there's rabid demand for great money, and they can sell that exposure, right? That's their product right now, is selling exposure to this good money. And it is crazy profitable for them right now. That won't last forever, but pretty much every company that's successful and lasts for a long time has different products and services that they can offer. And the different products and services that you can offer when you have, an absolute dynastic amount of good money is essentially limitless, right? You can invest, you can bring about change to the world that we can't even envision right now. And so I think today the Bitcoin treasury companies are just the companies that understand that the most profitable thing to do right now is to sell exposure to Bitcoin to these large pools of capital that are starved for Bitcoin exposure. In the future, that's going to change, and in ways that I can't even foresee, right? Like, just imagine any of your favorite companies being supercharged by holding the best form of money. It's the benefit to the world, I think, is going to be immense. The prosperity that these companies that are going to be able to deliver goods and services to the entire world with powered by the best form of money. I just think that, for me as a Austrian economics enthusiast, is just extremely exciting.
Agreed. What is kind of the most interesting, coming to the end of the podcast slowly, what is kind of the most interesting thing that you're looking forward in Bitcoin, but also in treasury companies over the near-term future, like the next 1 or 2 years?
I've been really amazed by the financial engineering that we're starting to see. And I'm typically not, a finance-oriented person. I'm more of a economist technologist, I would kind of label myself. So I've been just in awe with the different products and services that companies like MetaPlanet, companies like Treasury, the others have brought to market. And hearing Seyr talk about some of the products that he's envisioning, particularly surrounding, digital money in this idea, I think it's again using Bitcoin to supercharge the average person's savings and life in a way that they don't even need to know about. It's just going to make their lives a lot better. And I think that is kind of the next phase of adoption for Bitcoin so we have the sly roundabout money. Now we need to get the sly roundabout adoption. And the sly roundabout adoption, in my view, is just figuring out the products and services that don't make people think too much and just significantly improve their lives. Something like the iPhone moment is always used, but when you see that iPhone for the first time, you're like, you just know that you want that. It's going to immediately improve. You don't have to think about anything. You don't have to think about, the processing power. Some people like to go into the specs and dig into all the technology and stuff. But, when a bank account can offer you 9% interest just for holding savings there, you're gonna be like, yes, no brainer, right? You don't need to know necessarily how they do it. I mean, nobody questions today like how their money market fund generates 4% for them. There's a lot of risk being taken there. I think the risk can be significantly reduced by powering it with Bitcoin, and the rates of return are going to go up. So yeah, I think that the next phase of Bitcoin adoption isn't going to necessarily be as cypherpunk as maybe some of us envisioned back in the day, but what keeps me hopeful is that the growth in all of the really cypherpunk tools is continuing.
The first thing that every Bitcoiner does, and the most important activity that every Bitcoiner keeps on doing, is buying Bitcoin. And I personally use Relay to buy and sometimes also spend or sell my Bitcoin. And there are two main reasons why I do so. The first one is it's Bitcoin only. They do not do any shit coins. They do not do any cryptos, any stocks or anything else. This is a tool, an app that is fully focused only and solely on Bitcoin. The second one is self-custody. They give you the keys to your Bitcoin the moment you buy them. You never give them the control over your Bitcoin, and you don't have to trust them because you can verify that you and only you have the keys to your Bitcoin. There's no third-party risk. There's no freezing of your assets. There's no rug pulling. There's nothing of that. Download Relay, the app, on your phone, or go to relay.app on your browser and use code Robin to save fees and get cheaper Bitcoin. I want to tell you about something very special to me. It's called micro-seed. If you hold your Bitcoin in self-custody, and you should, you know how critical it is to secure your seed phrase. You should not have them on paper. You should not have them on anything else than titanium. With micro-seed, you can engrave your 12 or 24 word seed phrase, the entire seed phrase, onto a 1-inch small washer. Yes, just one washer. All 24 words on that one washer. You can hide that thing everywhere. And even better, you don't need to buy a new kit every time you have to get a new wallet. You can make unlimited backups because microseed is not selling the washer. Microseed is selling the device that stamps the washer. So you get the full kit with the device, with the washers, with the hammer, with everything you need to get started today, and you can make with that unlimited amount of backups. Go now to microseed.io.